We're going to throw some rookies, such as the 147. You see him near that doghouse in the middle. Levi Kitchen jumping up to the pro ranks. Revs are up. Gate is down. Cooper leads them into the first turn.
He's so good at doing that. And good start for his rival there, Jet Lawrence, in about second or third. I think he's battling with Jeremy Martin, so big hitters out front.
Oh, yeah, the players are right there. Martin and Lawrence side by side. Going to be a long twisting left-hander as we go down to Gravity Cavity. As you see the entire 250 pack, someone is down there. I think that might have been one of the Rockstar Husqvarna riders. And this battle continues. Lawrence trying to take the measure of Jeremy Martin, and he does.
He knew how important that was to get done right there. He doesn't want to be in the roost, and he doesn't want a teammate being a buffer to the guy who he trails in the points, Justin Cooper. Oh, look at this. I thought as Cooper got held up in that rut a little bit, thought Jet might have the opportunity. This is the Jet Lawrence that we've been wanting to see the last few rounds. Getting good starts, being aggressive early.
Styles Robertson, it was one of the Husqvarna riders that was down early there, so he's at the back of the pack. And this is the battle we've wanted to see for a while. Cooper and Jet Lawrence hooking it up for the #1 spot. And Lawrence not only getting around Martin, he wants to get around Cooper.
Oh, yeah, I think he had a little talk to himself in his couple of weeks off about what he needed to work on. Obviously, Johnny O in his corner, that helps a lot as well. Oh, that rear end got loose there for Jet Lawrence, but gathers that up nicely.
Oh, Lawrence, the lines are absolutely working in his favor. Continues to close on the 32 of Cooper.
Yeah, they groomed a few of those sections between motos. And what that'll allow is once they move, sort of flatten it out, is it opens the riders up to being creative. And you can cut from the outside back to the inside. When these ruts get deep, usually you just have to pick one and you can't move around as much. Oh, look at that. Cooper has a look over. Now he knows exactly who it is.
Been a while since we've seen these two up front battling. Early in the season, it was pretty constant. They've had a rough go mid-season. Totally different lines at the bottom as we go to the wall here.
Oh, both riders fighting for traction there. I think Jet Lawrence had a decent exit, but then the rear was sliding and spinning and lost that drive. You can see what it cost him, about 5 or so bike lengths.
Yeah, I thought he was maybe trying to set Cooper up for a pass, but just like we saw in our first 450 moto where Plessinger was second and lost ground at the bottom of that hill, it is advantage to the leader, Justin Cooper. And in one lap, they have really put some time into Jeremy Martin and everyone else.
Shout out to Max Volan in 4th place there, the youngster who had an incredible debut to Pro Motocross, only for it to go up in smoke when the bike let go. And then for a little while there, we didn't quite see him. Don't get me wrong, nothing bad. He wasn't, in that battle in the top 10. He was just outside. The last couple rounds, we've been seeing the youngster really finding his groove.
And Seth Hamaker, who's back in action today for the Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki team, is running in 5th. Battling it out with Hampshire right now. I think Hampshire might have snuck around him. So here we go, lap 2. It looks like Jeremy Martin back there in 3rd has gathered it back together and is closed a little bit on Lawrence while Cooper gets away.
Max Volan hanging with this lead group. This is great to see. We saw this a little bit in the 450 class. Gaps open up, close. And I think the reason is, like I said, at this track, because it's so easy to make mistakes, in one lap, if you ask a rider, was there one lap you did at Unadilla the entire day where you did not make one little bobble? I'm pretty sure most guys would say, no.
Wow.
Even my fastest lap of the day, this happened, or I dabbed my foot here, or tucked the front end there. And I think when you are able to put together a good lap, you can see that what it does for you. But make 1 or 2 little mistakes in these turns, and all of a sudden you lose a couple seconds.
Yeah, because 1 lap ago we're in this section, and Jet Lawrence was all over Justin Cooper for the lead. Now he's got some ground to make up. Just the difference between a few mistakes here and there. There is Hampshire. So he has gotten around Hamaker. And Hampshire always looks fast, always looks aggressive. He's on the move. Hamaker's going to have to deal with the 41 of Hunter Lawrence and the 47 of Swoll.
That was a beautiful line there from Hunter Lawrence. Just came to that rut, squared it up, got to the very inside of the track, staying out of the slick, choppy part of it. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he's going to try and go there. That's the problem with the bottom of that hill. It's really tough because everything filters together. But I like the lines Lawrence is using, even if they're not faster right now. As that main line deteriorates, it'll just make those alternative lines more productive.
Yeah, and if Hamaker makes a mistake, he's in a different part of the track, so he won't get held up. Probably avoids a little bit of roost as well.
Nice to see Swole up in this battle as well. He took a heavy spill at our last race. Got kind of mauled in that first turn, just wrong place, wrong time. And after being taken off on the medical cart, I wasn't sure if we were going to see him here. So not only is he here, but he's having a fantastic ride. Great qualifying as well.
And now Jet Lawrence has closed back up on Justin Cooper, so the battle for the lead is back on here. So the first lap, Lawrence was better. Second lap, Cooper was better. Lap 3, advantage Lawrence.
And it's no secret these two are not the biggest fans of each other, which I like.
Yeah, man.
I think it's great.
For a title.
Well, you know what it does? It just brings more intensity and more passion to these battles. So as the season winds down and it becomes that two-horse race, it's almost like riders get tunnel vision. It's not 39 other riders. It's there's one other guy.
Now, normally you often see that also allows them to break away from the field, and they're eventually running 1-2 in every moto. That has not materialized so far this year, but there's still 5 motos to go. Pierce Brown, who had a good race at our last event at Washougal. So much for capitalizing on that. And this is a team that's already taken on the hits. They lost. It's actually Davey Coombs from MX Sports Pro Racing grabbing the bike. That's the same area Aaron Plessinger went down in our 450 moto.
Well,
different type of crash.
Actually fell in the exact same spot, but just completely different. I don't know what happened there. I wonder if there's a soft spot there or something, because with Plessinger, when he landed, it's like the bike bogged and then it rebounded and came from underneath him. You got to remember, they're launching over that jump onto flat ground. If you just hit maybe a soft little pocket, that could do it for you.
A team already missing Michael Mosman for the 250 class today. He's out with injury. And Justin Barsha in the 450 class, so a rough go with Brown down. And we have a 3-rider fight. Not only has Lawrence caught Justin Cooper, but look at Jeremy Martin hanging out there as well. This is going to get good.
This is going to get really good, actually, because Justin Cooper's starting to make little mistakes.
Oh.
And Jet Lawrence is thinking about it. And he looks eager. He looks like he wants to lead it. He doesn't want to eat roost. And he's going to hear Jeremy Martin closing up.
Oh, good job on the outside of those ruts. He almost made a pass on the outside of Cooper. Jet Lawrence has brought his A game here to Unadilla.
Yeah, it looked like Cooper was trying to tiptoe around the inside, meaning inside of the inside rut, like almost off the track. And from that camera angle, looked like Lawrence might have him, but nice, clean exit for Justin when he exited that turn. Able to get the power to the ground and drive away.
It is dig deep time right now. If you're Justin Cooper, you do not want to let Jet Lawrence get by, but he is dealing with a lot of pressure. Jet shading the outside again.
Yeah, Cooper, he's going to feel it. I mean, he can come out of these turns and see it's not only Jet. He'll see another blue machine there and know who that'll be. But these guys starting to separate themselves as far as speed and on the track. They're Justin Cooper at last lap, best lap 25.9. Best lap for Jet 25.7. Best lap for Jeremy 24.9. So all the riders running their best lap times in the top 3. In fact, the track must just be hitting the prime zone, because I think everyone's bringing their fastest lap right now.
Well, we were talking about how they each had a good and a bad lap early in the race. They were sorting it out. Now they must know exactly where they want to go, and the pace has picked up. Cooper going to go wide here. Lawrence wisely picks an inside line.
That was brave.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you want to run that outside, it is so hard to leave the door that wide open when you know someone that if you give him half an inch, he's going to take a yard.
So where can Lawrence make an attack? He's had quite a few different lines. Can he use something to get around Cooper as we head to the sky shot? Nearly wheel to wheel between the riders' top 2 in the series. Lawrence has a different line here as well.
Yeah, then goes inside to outside, whereas Cooper goes outside to inside. Kind of worked out pretty evenly.
And we're going to drop down. This is so steep. Very deceptive. Doesn't look it on camera. Even getting up this hill is a challenge.
And obviously, Jeremy must have made one little mistake because he dropped off the back. And there you see Pierce Brown in the pits. Disappointing. He was also going from strength to strength, just really getting you know, another one of these young, talented riders, you know, that if you could just get a little momentum going, could be a superstar.
Big drag race down past the mechanics area, and they have dropped Jeremy Martin now. The last lap and a half, they have really pulled away from Martin. Let's see if he can ratchet it back up and get back to Lawrence. But right now, it is one-on-one between the title contenders, exactly the way you want to see it here at Unadilla.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Jet Lawrence is going to, a lot of riders, I know I can speak for myself. Oh, like I said, that roost hurts, and when you start getting pelted, you start getting angry. And you start resenting the guy in front of you. You almost feel like he's doing it intentionally, which is obviously not the case whatsoever. But yeah, you get impatient. Yep. You start getting a little feisty. You start...
Oh, yeah. It's like getting slapped in the face over and over.
Exactly.
And Cooper's running a couple of outsides in some of these sections, so Lawrence has to be taking notes back here and figuring, where can I get this guy to get the lead? Back section of the track right now.
Well, if Cooper goes to the outside of the top of this hill again, if I'm Jet, I'm getting super, super close, and I'm just going to... But I think Cooper's going to know he's there. If he goes to the outside, I'd be really surprised. But that allows Jet to go to the outside, but he wasn't quite prepared for that. See him have to turn his head, avoid that big roost out of the turn. The crowd getting into it.
Well, I don't think that inside was actually faster for Cooper, but he had to go there to protect. So now they're starting to get into the protection game. And Cooper's no longer able to take the line he wants. So how will that change the dynamic here?
Well, then if Cooper keeps changing up his line, it makes things complicated for Jet, because all of a sudden he's like, whoa, hang on, that's not your line, that's my line.
Faulkner, we hear, has crashed, and that's why he's in the Pro Circuit mechanics area with his mechanic, Ollie Stone. The hits just keep on coming in what has been a very tough summer for Austin Faulkner. Back to the leaders. Man, it is strange to see Jeremy Martin almost 4.6 seconds behind, and they did all of that in the last 2 laps. So these two have really stepped up the pace.
Yeah, I think more than anything, Jeremy had to make mistakes the last lap. Look, he was at 26, everyone else around him at 24. So,
all right, so it is just these two, the two-horse battle. Cooper and Jet Lawrence, and the fans here at Unadilla loving the situation right in front of them. This should be a good one. First half of the first 250 Moto of the day here at Unadilla. Can Cooper hold on? Jet Lawrence going for the Moto win right behind him. MAV TV brings you the Lucas Oil Racing Block. See new episodes from American Sprint Car Racing, Pro Pulling League, Late Model Dirt Series, and much more. Weeknights on MAV TV. Yeah, motorsports always rolling your way on MAV TV. We've got Lucas Oil Pro Motocross right here. Justin Cooper on the 32, the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha, and the 18 Honda HRC machine. It's Jet Lawrence. And they have each had their strengths and weaknesses in this moto. There are times where Lawrence puts the press on Cooper. There are times where Cooper pulls away. Cross flags are out halfway through Moto 1. And you know what cross flags mean. You know what halfway means.
Any true fan knows exactly what this means.
Absolutely. 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. And a 15-minute phone call, you could save 15% or more on your insurance with Geico.
And most true fans have Geico motorcycle insurance.
Okay, we're going to say it that way. Yeah, that's right. So Lawrence trying to catch Cooper, and now Jeremy Martin from third is matching them on lap times again. So 2 bad laps for Martin has allowed these two to break away.
And then you see right there, Jet makes a little mistake and immediately looks over like, who's there? Oh, okay, cool, little breather.
Yeah, he probably figured he was going to be under fire, but they had pulled away from Martin at that point. It is Hampshire, Volan, Hunter Lawrence around Hamaker, Shimoda, Swoll, Carson Mumford rounding out the top 10. And is this the calm before the storm? Is Lawrence going to put in another surge? Hampshire's putting in a surge. He has caught Martin for third.
Yeah, he's been sort of mirroring the front two's lap times, and Jeremy's made those few mistakes, and that's enabled, as you said, that gap to evaporate. Now, as we've kind of seen, catching someone's one thing. Passing them looks like it's been a little bit more difficult, unless the rider makes a mistake. But if the rider in front does not make a mistake, we've really seen people struggling to make passes.
Yeah, you are correct. We saw that in the first 450 Moto. Plessinger was trying to set Roxon up, couldn't figure it out. And same thing with Jet Lawrence behind Justin Cooper. So what can Hampshire do from the number 4 spot? Can he get to Martin?
See them now trying to. The key with this hill is you've got to get the bike straightened up. If you're coming out and you're power sliding, you're sort of, it's like going against the grain. You're sliding up that hill, you get wheel spin, you're not getting that forward momentum. They're developing that rut at that exit where they can turn, pivot. Then, like I said, it's almost like a start. You weight forward, hard on the throttle, but you got to use that clutch to keep the front wheel from not coming over the top of you.
Hampshire getting some assistance from Zach Osborne, our 450 National Motocross champ, who's out for the summer with a back injury, but Osborne's been coming to the races wearing the team headset, pointing out lines to the riders. He's on hand again today. It's good advice if you can get it. But as we have seen all day long, just as quickly as Hampshire got to Martin, Martin stretches it back out just a tad. And Martin was 5.3 seconds down. Now it's only 3.2 seconds down in the lead.
It's almost like exchanging of mistakes.
Yep.
That's what dictates the gap.
Yep. He's actually closed a bit on Lawrence, but it is Cooper who has gone to work. Cooper has stretched it on Lawrence. So that's what it is, actually. Martin is catching second place, but the gap to lead, there you can see the lap times. Lawrence and Martin running about identical, 2:24s. Cooper just ran a 2:23.2. Oof. And he is pulled away. Here's our motorsport.com whole shot replay. So second half of the moto looking good for Justin Cooper, and the very beginning of the moto looking good.
Yeah, that was good to see. A lot of the top guys near the front. No big pileups or anything. See Swole and Voland almost come together there. Justin Cooper getting that motorsport.com whole shot. Between fast lap qualifying and whole shots, he's got that all on lockdown. He's like, I just wish I had more moto wins.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is his chance to do it right here. He just threw down Justin Cooper, the fastest lap of the moto. His best lap, no one else has been in the 2:23s. But just as quickly as we say that, Lawrence starts to close back up. It has been that type of race day at Unadilla. The lines are changing. The track is changing. Can Cooper hold on to get a win here in his home state of New York? Great battle here. It is the Red Bull KTM, the 115 of Max Voland, trying to hold off the 41 of Hunter Lawrence. This is for 5th place. Lawrence going to try to round the outside and split the lap traffic. Voland moves over on him.
Oh, now they both go to that inside over the jump. Their lines filtered together. Hunter was getting out of that rut earlier and pivoting, but I think it's gotten too deep, those holes, to pull out. You saw him stand up early, try to get the weight off the motorcycle so it doesn't get bogged down on those acceleration bumps. That's something else we don't talk a ton about, but this track you get a lot of acceleration bumps as well. Oh, Voland drifts wide. Lawrence tries to keep it tight. Not able to capitalize quite at that moment.
Voland doing a good job, kept that KTM wide when Hunter had a few passing opportunities. No changes up front, by the way. Cooper maintaining a 2.5 second gap over Jet Lawrence, and they pulled away from Martin and Hampshire. So we'll focus on this battle. 5th and 6th. Behind them, you'd have Hamaker in a great return to the series for Seth Hamaker, running 7th. Raced the opening round and then was out, I guess, with an illness, really kind of undisclosed, and is finally back today running 7th. Let's send it down to Ashley with more on the 115 of Voland.
Yeah, you guys, if you remember the opening round of the season, he was leading laps and had a bike malfunction. Well, Max Voland has set goals for his rookie season, and that was top 10s. Now, to finish top 5 would exceed his goals, especially in his last 5 rounds of the season. So for Max Voland, he was focused on top 10s, coming in and learning each and every weekend, and that's what the team really wants him to do, just to focus on becoming a better rider, a more sophisticated rider, and just get that maturity. He's had a really quick, accelerated career to the professional ranks, right, Jason?
Yeah, that's right, Ashley. A year ago, he was racing a 125 in the amateur ranks. Probably was going to have another year or 2 as an amateur before turning pro. His dad, Talon, longtime racer at this level, they wanted to play the long game, but then KTM decided to bring the factory 250 program back, and they moved him up early. So he is learning as he goes and learning in situations like this because Hunter Lawrence is throwing everything at him. Still can't figure out a way around.
Things can move fast as a teenager professionally. I can speak for myself. It happened to me. Same thing like you said. I think for Voland, it came all pretty quickly. But, you know, when teams see young talent, if you hold them back, yes, dominating amateurs is great. But in the big picture, maybe moving someone up and letting them ease into the pro ranks, they have better longevity. We're going to have a look at a couple incidents. There's Seth Hammaker after the finish line. Just came into that turn, didn't get the bike lent over enough, as we call it, got a little high-centered. And
lost
tips
a
over.
spot or two. That's Swole trying to get by him. And then Mumford, who was near the top 10. Get those banners caught on the bike. You're in trouble. Oh, he got lucky there.
Yeah, I see he looks back.
Mumford was running around the top 10. Actually, still there. Didn't even lose any positions with that on the FXR Chaparral Honda. Mumford, help from his coach, Davey Millsap's really starting to show some signs as of late. Last couple of motos have been better for him.
Hey, where's Hunter? Oh, there he is.
Okay.
For a second, I thought he might have gone down. He disappeared.
It has been that kind of day. You can get to the rear wheel. You can put the pressure on, but making the pass has been tough. And Voland able to survive the attack for now. Back to our leader, Justin Cooper. So Jet Lawrence tried to answer. He ran a 2:23 of his own. But Cooper keeps churning him out. A 2:23.7 the last time around as he continues to stretch the lead. MAV TV brings you Moto America live. And also, we mentioned that. Also, we've got the ARCA Menard Series. So a lot of great racing on MAV TV, including Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Check MAVTV.com for the ARCA Series. It's the future superstars of NASCAR right here on MAV TV. And there you get a brief.
You heard it.
Yeah, the two-stroke of Luke Renslin. He just went a lap down. Justin Cooper, you might have saw that as we're going to break. They almost collided. Almost ended Cooper's bid for the win here. Cooper survived that, and he's done it. He's pulled away from Jet Lawrence, and it could be lights out for everybody.
Well, for a guy who I think kind of beats himself a little bit up on settling and not getting maximum points and this and that, he does a great job of racing under pressure. You know, for people at home that haven't experienced it, the hardest thing to try and do is not be distracted by a competitor putting pressure on behind you, because you're trying to look forward, but subconsciously you're thinking about them as well. And not only has he dealt with all the pressure, but, I mean, he has picked it up and sent a loud message to Jet Lawrence. Oh, that's...
Someone is down hard on that jump, and then Cooper wisely backs out of it. I don't know if they had the wheels on the ground flag out or not, but either way, he didn't take any chances. He did not jump.
Yeah, he did the smart thing. When you see a rider on the track, I think that's kind of a given. But the hard part is, when you're in that race mode, the hardest thing to do is chop that throttle. And but wise decision from him. He knows he's got a bit of a gap. Even if the wheels on the ground flag was not out, he's got a big enough lead. It wouldn't jeopardize anything.
I'll tell you what, he looks good. A lot of body English.
Yep.
He is taking it to another level. He didn't get the 1-1 that he wanted at Washougal, but he was the fastest guy there. He admitted he wasn't happy going 2-3 2 races ago at Millville. The team admitted it. He wasn't happy. They weren't happy. And really, since then, this is probably 3 motos in a row where you can make the case where he's been the fastest guy.
So now will he be happy?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe only when he holds that number 1 plate.
He's going to be like, it was just Moto 1.
Not happy right now. Not happy at all.
Someone's getting a mouthful after the race.
Got held up by the lap rider. That is Williams on the gas, the 874. Now, Cooper has plenty of room to play with. He's got a 4.7 second lead, but I'm sure when you're up front running these races, you don't think about that.
Oh, no. All you think about is, I lost time. I lost time. He's holding me up. Get this guy out of the way.
Going to be impatient, Justin Cooper, as the clock. This is going to be close. Will it be 2 laps to go or 3? 1 minute left in this lap.
It is going to be close.
Yeah, I think he's going to make it to the finish before the clock expires.
I think he's just going to miss it.
Oh, and it's going to be 3 to go, which is certainly not what he wants.
No, certainly not. No one wants that. But behind this battle, Hunter Lawrence finally made the pass on Voland.
Okay, so that puts him in the 5th. Hampshire. No other changes there. Hampshire's 4th. Martin 3rd. Nope. Didn't make it. 26 seconds to go. So 2 laps will come out the next time around. So, yeah, we were talking to...
oh, no.
Oh, that was Cody.
Kelly.
Derek Kelly, sorry, that was down on that jump. Oh, man.
Glad to see him standing up on his own power. But I got a feeling he got loose before that. And unfortunately, the problem is when you crash into the face of a jump, you get that sudden stop. A lot of times your body feels it or you slap your head pretty good. He looked a little woozy right there, but as we sometimes say, hopefully just shaken, not stirred.
That's right. So I hope Derek Kelly's okay as we go back to Justin Cooper. So this week we had a chance to talk to Seth Rarick, who's the team manager now for this 250 program at Star. We talked to Eric Kehoe, who's the team manager for Honda, who the Lawrence brothers ride for. And this Star Racing team, it comes straight from the top. Bobby Regan, the team owner, he is not afraid to get on his riders. They said they don't want to see Justin Cooper settling for anything. They want Moto wins. And if it turned out our last race, crash while going for the Moto win, they're okay with that. And they have really lit a fire in their rider because he has picked up the game, both Washougal and here. And Jet Lawrence was right there. Second half of the Moto, Cooper really picked up the pace.
Well, here's the thing. If you can ride with that sort of pressure, the team saying we expect nothing but the best, yes, it puts pressure on you, but all of a sudden when you're pressured in the race, it doesn't seem that gnarly because you're already feeling the pressure before you threw your leg over the bike. So maybe it's the brain's a powerful thing. That's all I can say. Different things make different people tick. And I tell you what, at Star Yamaha, whatever they're doing, it's been working. At least for the past few years, that team has just been unbelievable. I mean, they own this class.
Here's the level of competitiveness. Okay, so they've got the points leaders in both classes here. They got the top amateur, the Nicky Hayden Horizon Award with Levi Kitchen. Bobby Regan, the team owner, stops me today and says he's very angry. Their B rider, one level below Kitchen in the amateur ranks, Nick Romano, he won 5 motos in a row last week at Loretta's, and then he crashed out of the last moto. And they said it's our fault. We should have put in the pit board, just cruise and slow and win the title. Bobby Regan said he has been sick for a week, that B-class title at the amateur race at Loretta Lynn's slipped away. He said, that's my fault. They should have signaled the rider to just cool it and get that title. I'm like, Bobby, you're leading both pro classes and you have the top amateur, and he's still mad that one slipped away with Nick Romano, who's probably a year or two away from turning pro. That is how competitive this team is.
But if you don't plant the seed properly, the crop doesn't grow correctly. And I think that's his mentality.
Yep.
The youngest rider on their program is their future champion in their eyes.
Yep. And he's like, it is my fault. I should have told the mechanics. We should have got a pit board out there. We should have had radios. I'm mad about it. I'm like, well, how about these guys? These guys are obviously doing fine, but they take nothing for granted. It's that same thing. Justin Cooper takes the points lead with a consistent day. No, we want Moto wins. Let's check in with Levi Kitchen, that AMA Nicky Hayden Horizon Award that is handed out to the top amateur in the country. We did see him race once earlier this year at Redbud. Got 9th in the first moto there. He is running 12th right now. Kitchen is actually out of Washougal, Washington, where we raced our last race, but Star Racing, they'll be living in Tallahassee, Florida, and riding at their facility in Cairo, Georgia now. Not a bad ride for Kitchen.
No, it's a tough track, I think, for youngsters to come to. So I think scoring points and finishing, to me, I think, is a good result for him. The results will come. Here we go. 47, Kitchen, getting the win at Loretta Lynn's.
Yeah, there's 2 top-level amateur classes. They call it Pro Sport. He's able to battle past Chance Hymas and also Preston Kilroy, who's here racing in his debut. He's at 16th right now, Kilroy, on the Suzuki. But Kitchen got it done, and there is the Horizon Award, named after the great Nicky Hayden, the road racer who won the Road Racing Horizon Award back in his amateur days. Always in our thoughts, Nicky Hayden.
And a big Moto fan. I was just telling our producer before the show, he used to message a lot of times about the racing from Europe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got a race in the morning. He's talking about Moto. Quick shout out to another superstar that's listening in, Daniel Ricciardo. He's watching the racing today.
Oh, love
obviously
it.
Checking out on his fellow countrymen who are doing a decent job. I'm sure he would prefer a little higher up in the ranks.
Yeah, Ricciardo, the Australian in Formula One. And it's a good race for Jet Lawrence. We're saying he kind of needs to ratchet it back up, and he's done it with the second. The problem is his main rival with a lap to go has pulled away.
Yeah, if you said you got second, one guy you don't want in front
of you.
The one guy. So, but hey, you got to take your hat off to Justin Cooper. He rode a fantastic race. He picked it up when he had to, under immense pressure. Red plate, like you said, the team there's a certain amount of pressure. He puts pressure on himself. And he was pressured the whole race. So I think this is going to be one of the sweetest moto victories of his career.
Yeah, that has always been the thing, the consistency for his career in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. He is averaging about a 50% podium rate for overalls. He has been on the podium overall in every race this year, 7 out of 7. But he only has 3 career overall victories, 1 this year and 1 each the last 2 years before that. So that many podiums, 21, I believe, career podiums, but only 3 career wins.
Look at that stat, though. Hasn't missed the podium this season.
That's the whole story on him, and he's been saying over and over, he's like, I want to be more than just podium guy.
Sure.
I want to win races.
Yeah, but you know that old saying, consistency wins titles.
It's true.
And you podium every race. On any normal given series or year, if you podium every race, you're probably going to win the title, unless you rode in the Ricky Carmichael era. Then you were just a podium guy every week. You had a lot of second and third place trophies. But for us normal folk, if you just are on the podium, more often than not, you're going to be in the title mix coming into the final round. You have a chance to win.
And that's exactly where Justin Cooper hopes to be. And this is his home state, although it's not the typical advantage, because this track, this main track at Unadilla, is only used for the Pro National. Justin Cooper did race some amateur events over on the other side of the facility, what they call the U2 track.
But at least it's similar dirt, so I feel like you get a bit of a feel for this place.
When I talked to him yesterday, he's like, but the fans, he's got a lot of people going to be cheering for him today, and he's going to make them happy as he brings it home here in the last lap. Justin Cooper had to deal with the pressure. He had Jet Lawrence, Jeremy Martin, R.J. Hampshire, some of the top riders in this class this year right behind him. And in the second half, he threw down a lap time no one could match. Fastest lap of the moto with the 2:32.2, and he pulled away from there. Justin Cooper, a big win in the first moto here at Unadilla. And there, Jet Lawrence, he never backed down. He kept charging right to the end. Got it down to about 3 seconds at the line. And Jeremy Martin going to have to settle for third in this one.
Good job for him.
Hampshire was there for a while, but wow, that really opened up late in the race. Yeah, we see as they got to the white flag, he was about 20 seconds back of Martin, and there is Hampshire. At one point, we thought he was looking to make a pass, and in fact, he almost got caught by Hunter Lawrence. There is Hampshire, and Lawrence right behind.
And another MotoGP superstar, former champion Kevin Schwantz is watching. We're getting the text coming in.
All right.
Letting us know.
Okay.
A lot of Moto